Is Russia hiding an underwater extraterrestrial civilization? According to a very controversial theory, during the era of the Soviet Union, there was a peculiar submarine activity in Russia that involved a hidden underwater extraterrestrial civilization. Apparently, the Russian officials decided to keep these issues as a top secret, but two researchers, Paul Stonehill and Philip Mantle, have determined to put two and two together, finally resolve this mystery. As a subject of their inquiry, these two researchers took the secrecy that revolves around an underwater extraterrestrial civilization that was allegedly confirmed by a large number of witnesses. Stonehill and Mantle connected the peculiar events to some passenger aircraft produced by underwater air UFO movements. And then again, eyewitnesses have reported seeing unusual creatures and objects in the sea. Among the most fascinating accounts is one of Major General V. Demyanenko, a Russian Navy commander, and according to him, he and his divers detected a type of humanoid aliens who were famous as the swimmers, quote unquote. Supposedly, these 3-meter high beings, 10 foot high, appeared from an underwater tunnel in the Russian territory of Siberia. They also had silver uniforms and round helmets. Despite the attempts of capturing one of the creatures, the divers failed because all of the creatures protected themselves with a very strong power, they said. Other cases of collision with unidentified objects are also known. So in 1965, across the Red Sea, the crew of the Soviet steamship Raduga, which was crossing the Red Sea at that moment, witnessed a huge fireball that appeared from the ocean and hovered in the air at the height of about 150 meters. After some time, the ball again plunged back into the water of the Red Sea. The two researchers also investigated the story of the head of the intelligence department of Russia on a fleet of the Pacific, namely Admiral Domyslovsky, reported seeing a 900-meter long object in the ocean. Stonehill and Mantle further investigated many reports by other ex-military commanders, all of them involved in alleged underwater extraterrestrial civilization within the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Mantle stated this is not the first time he has heard stories about a supernatural activity surrounding the Atlantic Ocean. However, the theory which explains the weird occurrences around the Bermuda Triangle is often dismissed by the official domain. Why, we still don't know. Now, the declassified Russian Navy records underwater ETs are real, they say. Unidentified submerged objects, USOs, are not as famous as UFOs because we don't really see them because they're underwater and they go very deep, although they are often encountered according to declassified Russian Navy records. And the common trait of all USO phenomena is that they involve unexplained and technological advanced objects far superior to anything we've ever built. The recently declassified documents contain Soviet-era reports detailing many cases of possible USO encounters, and the former naval officer and Russian UFO researcher Vladimir Asaza believes these documents are of great value. One of the most interesting cases he examined involved a nuclear submarine on a combat mission in the southern Pacific. During the routine operation, the submarine detected 6 unknown objects traveling in formation at speeds in excess of 230 knots, that's over 265 miles an hour. In comparison, the fastest submarine was the Soviet K-222, which reached about 44 knots, that's 51 miles an hour. The submarine sonar determined the objects were heading straight for it, so the captain gave the order to surface. The USOs followed them to the surface, then flew away. Similar instances have been reported in the region of the Bermuda Triangle, as retired submarine commander Yuri Beketov recalls. On-board instruments often malfunctioned, indicating the presence of strong interference, and many believe this is a clear sign of UFO-USO presence. Beketov said, on several occasions the instruments gave reading of material objects moving at incredible speed, Calculations showed speeds of about 230 knots or 265 miles an hour. Speeding so fast is a challenge even on the surface, but water resistance is much higher. It was like the objects defied the laws of physics. There's only one explanation. The creatures who built them far surpass us in development. Both UFOs and USOs seem to concentrate wherever military operations occur, indicating their interest in humanity's military arsenal. Another USO hotspot is Lake Baikal in Russia. The world's deepest freshwater lake has always had a certain mysterious nature, and fishermen tell tales of lights being spotted in its deep waters. Multiple folk tales describe swimmers being dragged down by creatures lurking beneath Baikal's calm water or calm waves. And another of the Russian documents describes the encounter between a group of military divers and several humanoid beings in silver suits. The divers were training in Lake Baikal at the depth of about 150 feet, that's 50 meters, when they came upon a group of unknown creatures. The divers went deeper in the pursuit of the humanoids. 3 men lost their lives that way, they were killed, while the other 4 were severely injured. Vladimir Azaza believes the issue should be thoroughly investigated. He says, I think about underwater bases and say, why not? Nothing should be discarded, says Azaza. Skepticism is the easiest way. Believe nothing, do nothing. People rarely visit great depths in the oceans and seas and the lakes, so it's very important to analyze what they encounter there. And this is on Solask. I'll leave links below for you for this. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.